In a bustling corner of Mumbai, where the aroma of cutting chai mingles with the honking of rickshaws, lived a man named Pintu. Now, Pintu wasn't your ordinary fellow. He had developed what you might call an unusual relationship with his smartphone. While most people use their phones, Pintu seemed to believe his phone was using him. Every morning, Pintu would wake up, and the first thing he'd reach for wasn't a glass of water or his toothbrush, but his beloved device. He'd scroll through notifications like a priest reading morning prayers, his fingers dancing across the screen with religious devotion. His friends often joked that if you cut Pintu open, instead of blood, you'd find Wi-Fi signals flowing through his veins. One particularly warm afternoon, Pintu met his childhood friend Golu at their favorite tea stall near the railway station. Golu was the kind of person who believed every problem in the world could be solved with a simple cup of tea and his signature phrase, "Brother, drink tea, everything will be fine." Whether you lost your job, broke up with your girlfriend, or even if the monsoons were late, Golu's solution remained unchanged. As they settled on the wooden bench, the tea vendor began preparing their usual order. The familiar sound of boiling milk mixed with the rhythmic tapping of the ladle against the pot created a soothing melody. But Pintu, as always, was completely absorbed in his phone. His eyes were glued to the screen, thumb scrolling endlessly through social media feeds, completely oblivious to the world around him. The tea vendor approached with two steaming glasses of perfectly brewed chai, the golden liquid topped with a thin layer of cream. "Sahib, your tea," he announced, placing the glasses on the small wooden table between the friends. Without looking up from his phone, Pintu mumbled, "Bhai, please charge it for me." The tea vendor looked confused, glancing between Pintu and the hot glasses of tea. Golu chuckled softly, understanding immediately what had happened. His friend had become so consumed by his digital world that he'd confused his phone with his tea. "Pintu, he's brought tea, not your charger," Golu said gently, taking a sip of his own cup. Startled, Pintu finally looked up, his face flushing with embarrassment. As he reached for his tea glass while still holding his phone, disaster struck. In his flustered state, his grip loosened and his precious smartphone slipped from his fingers, landing with a soft splash right into the hot tea. For a moment, time seemed to freeze. Pintu stared at his phone, now swimming in the amber liquid like a drowning digital fish. His face went through a spectrum of emotions: shock, horror, disbelief, and finally something resembling grief. You'd think he'd just witnessed his best friend fall off a cliff. "My phone, my life, everything is in there," Pintu exclaimed, his voice cracking with genuine distress. He looked at Golu with desperate eyes, as if expecting his friend to perform some miracle. Golu, maintaining his characteristic calm, simply pushed the tea glass containing the phone towards Pintu and said with a straight face, "Brother, drink tea, everything will be fine." The absurdity of the situation hit Pintu like a wave. Here he was mourning over a device that had just taken an unexpected bath in his afternoon chai, while his friend was suggesting he drink the very tea that had become his phone's grave. Something clicked in Pintu's mind at that moment. He realized how ridiculous his attachment had become. Laughing despite himself, he picked up Golu's untouched glass of tea and took a long, thoughtful sip. The warm liquid seemed to wash away not just his immediate panic, but also his unhealthy obsession. From that day forward, Pintu made a simple but profound decision. He would keep his phone in his pocket and his tea in his hand, not the other way around. And whenever life threw him a curve ball, he'd remember Golu's timeless wisdom. "Brother, drink tea, everything will be fine."